Hello, I'm Logan Ballard, and today my topic is Does Money Buy Happiness? So, the importance of this presentation is to talk about how money affects happiness, if it affects happiness, how they coincide with each other, and how it affects your mental health, how your mental health is important. I wanted to first talk about and bring in a little happiness for this presentation, and I want you to think of one thing that makes you happy. When I think of something that makes me happy, I think of my future, I think of how much life I have to experience, and I think of the beach. So I used Hawaii as an example because I always talked about how I wanted to live in a shack on the beach and I'd be satisfied because I have the sun, nature, the beach. I don't know. It just all makes me happy. So the background of this presentation is that it's based on adults because kids aren't really self-aware enough and emotionally aware enough to understand their emotions and how things affect their emotions and their mental health. So the first popular press article I used was from Healthline.com. It's a website that provides so much information about medical issues, any topics you can think of, honestly. The main question of this article, though, was how money and happiness coincides with each other. So they talk about intrinsic value, which is if you get a lump sum of money or a tangible item that makes you really happy and it makes your happiness last forever and you know it'll make you happy, it doesn't always mean that it's going to make other people happy because everyone has a different level of happiness and how different things affect them. So they also talk about different levels of happiness based on your economic status. It seems that the more money you have, the more happy you are, but in reality, the more money you have, the more stressed you are, the more mentally messed up you are. And then it ends with how there's different ways to be happy. You can garden, you can literally go just lay in the sun. The sun makes you so happy. Going for a hike, reading a book, simple things. So the second article I used was from Psychology Today. It was a study-based question. So on Does Money Buy Happiness, they used a study that was done in Canada in 2016. 60 adults were selected to get $40 each for 2 consecutive weekends and got to spend the money however they wanted. So the results were that the adults who had more money and were more wealthy tend to spend their money on things that cause them more stress, like shopping, and then they use the money as like a competition thing. The more money they could spend, the more things they had. The people with less money were stressed because they felt like they didn't have enough time. And in all reality, they had all the time in the world, more time than they thought they had. They also talk about the if only motto. If only I bought this, if only I did this. If you live by the if only motto, it's gonna affect your mental health eventually because you can't think about things that you could have done. You have to think about things that you will do, are going to do, how they affect your life in the future. So the first research study that I chose was money and happiness, rank of income, not income, and life satisfaction. The main question for this study was, does money buy happiness, or does it come indirectly from the higher rank in society that brings money up? So there were 2 hypotheses. One was absolute income hypothesis, and this stated that richer people are happier than those less well off within the same society. And the relative income hypothesis was the dominant model of income comparison and suggests that individuals care about their income compares with the norm or reference income of a socially constructed comparison group. So the study was based around 12,000 British adults and how income rank affects your self-reported general life satisfaction. The results explain that individuals sample from a reference group and compare their own income with sampled incomes ordainedly. Satisfaction is gained from each better than comparison and lost for each worse than comparison. So this is saying that once they get so much money, it affects how you think about life. You're more competitive. The more money you have, the more competitive you are and the more stressed you are. The second study was called How Appealing Are Monetary Rewards in the Workplace? A study of ethical leadership, love of money, happiness, and turnover intention. This started off talking about how money can be so important to people and cause competition and stress, and it reveals people's beliefs, morals, and values and how people see you. So the 4 hypotheses they included were ethical leadership will have a negative relationship with the subordinate's love for money. Love of money will have a negative relationship with the subordinate's ethical voicing intention. Ethical leadership will have a positive effect on employee ethical voice. Employee ethical voice will have a positive effect on employee happiness. The results from the study were that ethical leadership does help employees exceed in their work And ethical leadership does help with communication in the workplace. So it's saying that no matter how much money you make, it doesn't matter, because if you're going to work and you're happy to be working and you're helping people and learning and just working, your mental health is going to be so much better than looking at it at how much money you make. In conclusion, popular press articles are more complex and really dive into the question, does money buy happiness? They're more discussion-based and thought-provoking. Research studies are studies that are in-depth and analyze how money and happiness coincide. So obviously they use facts, they use science, they literally go out and put themselves in situations that they need to decide. Money does not buy happiness for a lifetime. It only lasts for short periods of time. Take time for yourself mentally, and you will notice a mental and emotional change within yourself. And here's my site, my works cited. Thank you.